Hello everybody, my name is Roy Collin. I'm the host of Speaking Podcast and the website speakingpodcast.com. This is actually the second time I've done this. I was recording it first before I interviewed people and it lasted just 10 minutes and it was kind of strange talking to myself. It was like Billy No Mates. So I said I'll give it another shot and just give you an idea. My plan is to actually launch it and then every week release a speaker that should benefit everybody. I'll take you on my journey of speaking so that you'll understand why I've actually done this. I was actually very shy when I was younger. I wouldn't even go into a shop. I'd give my friend the money to go into the shop. In school as well, I used to hate if I had to stand up and read, or if they were going around asking questions, my brain would just freeze, when there were about 4 people from me. When I was working, I was very competent at my job, got lots of promotions, but the part I hated was a weekly meeting where you'd have an architect, a builder, and other tradespeople, and I'd have to talk. And my voice would just go and I wasn't confident. I know that kind of shyness has been a history in the family. Like my great-grandmother, who was alive until I was 12, she was extremely shy, and from her 30s till, I think she lived till 86, she left the house twice, and it was kind of just to organise her pension. So she was extremely shy. I also remember when I was in university doing a course, I had prepared everything new to partner up because I chose a topic on a band and my brother was in a band, so it was easy for me and I'd done everything. And on the day of presentation, the other guy done way better, the partner I had picked, because he was a better public speaker. And I've always known how important public speaking is. 2 years ago, decided to write a book, and I knew that to get my message out, I needed to be a confident speaker. So I went to a club in Poland, a Toastmasters club, and I liked it. I knew it would actually benefit me. I went with a friend, and he liked it too, said he'd go back, but just kept putting excuses, and I was actually too shy and embarrassed to go on my own. And then another new club was opening, so I decided that most people will be new, so I'll go, and enjoyed it and joined that. And since then, I joined the first club as well, and I've also formed a Wednesday morning business club. I've taken various roles in the club, VP of PR, and the reason I take the different roles is not only are you actually giving back to the Toastmaster community, but you can actually benefit in your business from what you learn. I'm currently the president of 2 clubs and the treasurer of another one. I've entered competitions. I did humorous speaking in Polish and English, and table topics and evaluation competitions. I'm currently doing quite well with the humorous English speaking. I've qualified to get into the district final, which means I'll be representing Poland against 5 other countries. I think it's Finland, Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia. And that's in May. I've also done an open mic. So from going from being extremely nervous and hating public speaking, I've got to a stage where I'll accept any invitation to speak. And I'm just very active in the Toastmasters, where I'm taking a role, I'm hosting it as a Toastmaster, so that the more stage time, the better it becomes. And I found that I don't get nervous no more. Well, just for the daily club things, the competition is kind of different. But I have totally done a complete loop on where I was, and that's why I want to do this, because I can see the benefit of it, and it's nice that if people with a voice of something that is beneficial to everybody can get out there, as opposed to politicians who are trained out to speak and basically do nothing for the world. I've done an open mic comedy session, and that went very well. I've also done an open mic on TEDx. I've done a 3-minute speech and I got great feedback on that. I'll be putting that on YouTube soon so people can actually have a look at it. The people that I have interviewed, it's not just people that have been on stage in front of hundreds of people. I'm also interviewing people that I know from Toastmasters who have gone from similar situations for myself, were extremely nervous and shy to being very confident on stage, and different age groups as well, because I wanted that it'll resonate with different people. I've got people that interviewed people they've come first in Poland in speech competition, distinguished Toastmasters. A guy that's done a TEDx talk that's currently at 7 million views. People that are trainers in breathwork and showing how to apply that to actual speaking, and also an extremely talented sales speaker. So each podcast should give value to the listeners. I'm planning on launching it so that every week a new speech will be put down. They vary. I don't have a set time because I just want to go with flow and let it kind of fade out as it does. So currently they're from 20 minutes to 1 hour. And also I plan on sharing some tools on the website so that if I'm explaining about different things, how I'm doing a speech, or stuff that, like for example, one of the people I interviewed, they've offered to give their book, an ebook, so I'll actually send a link of that on the website as well, so the listeners will be able to access these things. And I'll also talk about how I do speeches, because sometimes when I'm interviewing the people, I give examples of situations with me. So rather than talking about my whole complete story, there'll be bits and pieces come up during the conversations with the people that have agreed to do the podcast with me. Just how I did my first Toastmaster speech, I practiced it, I wrote it out verbatim and just practiced it, recorded it, practiced it in the car, just kept repeating it till I felt, yes, I know this. And the only difference was that there was nobody in front of me when I was doing that. And when I actually had to do my speech, I don't know, was it the eyes that were looking at me or what, but I paused, as I call it. I got a brain fart and just froze for what seemed like eternity, but was maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. Got my composure and completed the speech. And what I've learned from that is the amount of time that it took me to prepare was too much, because with the businesses I've got, I wasn't going to be doing many speeches if I had to spend that amount of time creating the speech. So I figured, just without being taught it was just something I'd done myself, to do a mind map where I use Simple Minds. And there's 2 different versions. There's a free version and a paid version. You can put it on your iPad or your Android device, Apple device. And I'd have the title of my speech and I'd put that in the center. I'd know my introduction so that I'd get the audience's attention, and I'd also have a good conclusion to where there's a call to action or just closing up on what I was discussing. And then I'd have kind of bullet points or little tiny points spreading out from the mind map. And I found that actually helped me an awful lot. A lot less time was required in preparing the speech. I have also done speeches without any preparation. So it's like a person at 6 o'clock cancelled their speech, and we were doing the club started at 6:30, and I'd actually be able to do a speech. I wouldn't even need 10 minutes. And I've done that about 4 or 5 times. I've even done it once in Polish as well, just to see could I do it. And I got great feedback on that. So it is possible. There's a lot of techniques. And a lot of the people I'm interviewing, that's where I'm delving deep into. I'm kind of asking, how do they prepare speeches? What are their techniques? And it's not just for, 3 to 5 minute speeches, or sometimes a smaller speech. But sometimes, like a workshop or a longer speech, 30 minutes, workshop could be up to 2 hours. And also people that are hosting events. So they could have over 3 days, maybe 5 hours. And they're explaining how they prepare, what they do. So there'll be different ways of giving feedback and advice to people. What I've done myself regarding the shyness, let's say, with my children is I always let them, if I go to a shop, that they hand them the money, they go up and buy. Like even my son, he's currently 4, and if he wanted ketchup with his chips, I'd ask him, yeah, just go up and ask, rather than me doing it. And these small little things make him confident, and it just builds rather than doing everything for him. So eventually they become shy and then don't like speaking and everything. So my aim is to try and bring value to the listeners. I'll be interviewing people from 16 to whatever age, there's no limit on it. And just when I see that people are doing something special that I see could bring value, for example, there was a couple, and they worked in flow and harmony, how they actually crossed over from each other, and they shared how they managed that, because sometimes one person can take control or stop the other person, or it can get awkward and everything. And this couple has managed to do it in such a fantastic way that if you're working with a partner, and I mean, it doesn't have to be your living partner, it could be actually a business partner as well, where you're both working, speaking, it can teach you how to do it in such a way that it works in flow, as opposed to not looking professional. So I'll leave it at that, and every week you'll have something. If you like what I'm doing, I would be grateful if you could go on to the podcast and give a rating, and also feel free to share this with anyone else. Thank you for listening.